What's up, everybody? Welcome to Ballard Sports Media. Christian Ballard here with Ballard Sports Media, breaking down in this video the Clemson offense versus how they would match up against the Georgia defense. Now, yesterday, as I'm recording this, at least on August 22nd, on the 21st, I put out a video. I premiered it and got it out for you guys. I believe I recorded it on a Friday night. I got it out yesterday on Saturday, and we broke down the Georgia offense and the Clemson defense. How did they fare up against each other? And I pretty much get as much credit as I gave to Clemson's defense, and I gave a lot of credit. I think this will be one of the better defenses that Clemson and Dabo Sweeney have had in quite some time. I gave it everything I had, and I put it out there for you guys, and I said, you know what? Georgia's just going to have that type of offense with JT Daniels. They are. And I just said it. I said they got firepower, they got weapons. I got to give it to the offense. So I gave the edge to Georgia offensively versus Clemson defensively. But just because I did that, that's not me putting Clemson's defense down in any way. I just think JT Daniels and company are going to be that good for Georgia this year. Okay. So that being said, let's go ahead. Let's move on. Today, folks, looking at the Clemson offense and how they fare up against Georgia's defense. Now, Georgia has been a defensive guru powerhouse with Coach Kirby Smart, who, of course, you guys remember was the defensive coordinator long time under Coach Nick Saban at Alabama, going back to Saban's first year in 2007, all the way up until the end of the 2015 season when we won the championship with Jake Coker and company. And of course, Kirby Smart leaves. He goes to his alma mater, the Georgia Bulldogs, University of Georgia. And the rest is pretty much history. He has taken this program to heights that they haven't been. Like, Georgia in the past has had great years competing for the SEC and everything. You go back to 2012 and all that. They made the SEC title game. But when's the last time truly you saw Georgia on a national level be talked about? Not just 1 year. This is going back to 2017 when they made a national title game. And yeah, second and 26, we get all that. I won't go too much into it. I'll be nice to Georgia today. I will. Right. But on a national level, from that moment forward, it's like they can make a title game. And then they win the East again in 2018 and everything, and they're recruiting top five. I mean, it's incredible to see what Kirby has done. Well, they got to play a team that's nationally known in the Clemson Tigers and Dabo Sweeney. Week 1, it is happening, and I could not be more excited for this game. As an Alabama fan, of course, I'm excited a little bit more, and it's the Bama in me that I guess is the reason why. There's part of me that's I'd rather much see Bama and Miami because it's my own team, Alabama. But I'm telling you, no game this season am I more hyped up for than this matchup you see right on your screen, Georgia and Clemson. So we're going to be looking at Georgia's defense and how they stack up against Clemson and the offense. Georgia lost a few key guys this year in the draft. They've been losing guys in the draft. But what's great about Georgia, they are one of the few teams, and I mentioned this yesterday. I said, no matter who they lose, there's like 3 or 4 different teams in the country. Of course, Alabama, of course, Clemson, but I'll throw Georgia in there too. They are one of those teams, and it's amazing to see what Kirby has done with this. That no matter who they lose, they can lose the best players on the team. And it might not be as good the next year, but they can lose a few guys and still get back to a national contention type of level. They've only made the college football playoff one time. That was 2017. They've yet to get back there. But look at what they've done. They've won their division like 3 out of 4 years. Right? 4 out of 5 maybe even. I don't know. You do the math. You tell me. And they've recruited in the top 5. They have had one of the best defenses in college football. They are consistently, at least now, the past few years, I mean, I'll say top 10, but even now, I mean, they're top 5, and it's consistent, and it's incredible. I don't think a lot of people expected Kirby Smart to do what he has done with Georgia. Like, they saw the hire and they said, okay, give him a few years and maybe he's doing something and winning the East. This man, in his second year, took him to a national championship. And we said, okay, he means business. Well, we'll see what happens. People said it's just one of those one-hit wonder type of things. Georgia has been consistent. Kirby Smart's been consistent, and it's incredible. So they are one of the top-tier programs, Tier 1 in college football, along with Alabama, and, of course, Clemson, who they face Week 1. You look at what they lost on defense, though. You look at Eric Stokes. I'll go ahead and screen share here too. Let's see. Right here, if you want to take a quick look at the defense for Georgia this year, they lost a few key guys you don't see on here. They bring in Cade Brock. They bring Jordan Davis back. Jonathan Jefferson, Timon Mitchell, some key guys here, Nazir Stackhouse, Jalen Carter on the defensive line, to name a few guys. You notice there's quite a few sophomores and freshman guys you probably haven't heard of. I haven't heard much of, so I can't say much about. But they've lost quite a bit. They lost Azeez Ojulari, a defensive edge rusher. He went to the New York Giants. Monty Rice was a linebacker, I believe, day 2 to the Titans. Now, senior defensive back Devontae Wyatt is returning, taking advantage, I guess, of the extra eligibility, of course, due to the COVID and everything. So he takes advantage of that. They lose Monty Rice. They lose Azeez Ojulari, Eric Stokes to the Packers in the first round, practically the first corner. Well, not the first corner off the board, but one of the top corners in last year's draft. So you have that. Georgia, again, I'll keep mentioning, they are one of the few teams in college football, one of the few teams that they can lose half their team to the draft. They will be back next year, and it might not be the playoffs, but they're top 10. They're right there. They don't fall far, and that's what makes a good program. And obviously, Kirby Smart has done that. So when you look at it, Georgia is stacked defensively. They got some inexperience, right? And it might be slow at first, going forward. Now, you look at it, Georgia's got defense. Trust me, they got defense. I don't care what you say, they have it. But is it enough to put a stop to sophomore quarterback DJ Uiagalelei and the Clemson Tigers? Is it enough? That's the big question. That is the big question. You look at last year too. Let me pull this one up for you, and kind of what we viewed yesterday when we were looking at Georgia's offense, but I'm going to focus in on the defensive stats. Nakobe Dean, linebacker, Eric Stokes now with the Packers, he's gone, but he led the team in interceptions at 4, was the most by any defensive back last year. And quite honestly, 4 is not a lot, but I'll tell you what, for a single player, that's pretty good. To get 4 picks in a season, I'm sure any defensive back would love to have that. Eric Stokes is special. Wish him the best with the Packers. I think he's going to have a great career. He's going to be one of the top corners here in a few years. I guarantee it. I think he's going to go far. Nakobe Dean is a key guy returning. 71 tackles on the defensive side of the ball. You see here 32 assists for Nakobe Dean, 39 solo tackles. You add those up to 71. He had 1.5 sacks for 9 yards. No interceptions, no forced fumbles or anything. Monty Rice is gone. He was a key guy. He's not here now. But he had a good year too. 30 tackles, 19 assists. He had a sack for 9 yards. Quite a few guys on here to look out for, I think. DJ Daniel for Georgia. DJ Daniel, I'm pretty sure. Let me see. DJ Daniel. Oh, he's gone pro too. He was picked up as a undrafted free agent. I thought I heard something about him. But anyways, Nazir Stackhouse is a defensive back. MJ Sherman. There's quite a few guys on here to look at for Georgia. And I'm going to be honest, I don't know a whole lot. All I can really say about Georgia is this year for defense, they do have some inexperience. But you got to trust a mind like Kirby Smart, don't you? You have to trust that they're going to pressure some quarterbacks, not corners. They're going to have an elite line. They're going to have good secondary. They're going to get in your face. They're going to be stacked. I think Georgia this year will take it slow defensively to start out in the season, but by halfway through the season, you look at them and you say, yeah, that's the Georgia we definitely know. You know, there's some elite guys on that D line and in the secondary and everything like that. So overall, for Georgia's defense, expect great things this year. And again, you look back at my previous video breaking down Georgia's offense against Clemson's defense and how they match up. I gave the edge more so to JT Daniels and the offense more than the Clemson defense. But that being said, Clemson's going to have one of the best defenses in America this year. I'm telling you that right now. Don't underestimate that pass rush. I just think Georgia has that kind of offense. They can compete and put points up on the board. And again, I'll do the week of the game, my full-on preview and prediction for the game, including my score prediction, how these teams win, what they got to do. But I just am getting into now just a small amount of what, obviously in this video, Clemson's offense versus the Georgia defense. And again, I mentioned Devontae Wyatt is returning for Georgia. They lose Monty Rice, a linebacker, to the Titans. Azeez Ojulari went to the Giants. He's an edge rusher. They lost the corner in Eric Stokes on defense in the first round, but they bring a lot back. It's young, but I think it gets off to a slow start, especially even in this game against Clemson. And but I think it's going to improve greatly as the season goes along. So, that being said, let's go ahead, folks, and let's look at the Clemson offense, starting with the 5-star recruit out of California, one of the top guys in last year's class, along with the very own Bryce Young over at Alabama from Mater Dei. This guy from St. John Bosco in California, DJ Uiagalelei, 78 117, 66.7 completion percentage, 914 yards, 5 touchdowns, took 3 sacks. And you got to remember, Trevor Lawrence was still the quarterback last year, but he missed 2 games out for COVID last year. And especially, you got to give credit to DJ for that Notre Dame game. That went to double overtime. It was not DJ's fault they lost. It was more so, I mean, yeah, they had the ball and everything, and they just couldn't get it on that final drive. But man, you got to give credit. DJ is one of the best returning quarterbacks, and of course, JT Daniels, too. We talked about the Georgia offense already. But DJ Uiagalelei, I believe, will be a Heisman finalist. Is he this year's Heisman frontrunner? That's what they're making him out to be. And I don't blame him. He's very talented. He's good and clean in the pocket. He's got the arm strength. The thing about DJ is he's filling big shoes. We know all about Trevor Lawrence. I just say Trevor, and I can shut up and you know what I'm saying. You know where I'm going. Elite quarterback, generational quarterback, number 1 pick, no doubt, obviously, and they took him. The Jaguars did. Big shoes to fill for DJ, and I think he can do it. Again, look at these stats. He had 5 touchdowns. That's good. He had some mop-up time, but in like 2 or 3 different games, he didn't play. First off, he didn't play many games last year. He had a 66.7 completion percentage, and he threw for over 900 yards. He can launch the ball deep. He can break defenses. He can throw it downfield. He's dual threat, too. He runs, and he's very fast. He's very athletic. When he runs, he makes me think, like, DJ has the arm strength of Trevor Lawrence. And if you want to talk his mobility and being a QB on the run, he kind of scrambles like Kyler Murray did at Oklahoma a couple years ago. And that's saying a lot because Kyler Murray can really run and move in the pocket. He's got great legs and can move the ball downfield if he needs to scramble. DJ's like that. Again, looking today at Clemson's offense and Georgia's defense, who do I give the edge to ultimately? Again, I gave the edge to Georgia on offense more than Clemson's defense. But again, don't underestimate the pass rush that Clemson can bring and the pressure that can be put on JT Daniels. But you get back to Clemson's offense. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. I think it's just gonna be an offensive game. I give it to Clemson's offense more than Georgia's defense. But again, like you don't need to underestimate what Georgia has defensively. You don't have to underestimate what Clemson has defensively. Like I said yesterday, you just don't have to do that. I just think that DJ can get it done for Clemson. I really do. You have Lynn J. Dixon at running back. He had 42 rushing attempts last year for 190 yards, 2 touchdowns. He was behind Travis Etienne, though. You have to remember that. I think he's the lead running back this year. He's the guy to go to. He's very fast. He's seems like Travis Etienne too. I view Etienne like this power back that's going to be a hard hitter to break tackles and get through. And I kind of see that in Lynn J. Dixon too. I really do. They got other guys. They got like this DeMarcus Bowman guy at running back. You bring in Frank Ladson Jr. is a receiver. Joseph Nagata. Will Sweeney, who is Dabo's son, of course. Drew Sweeney, his brother. There's a lot to look at for the Clemson roster this year. Will Shipley is a running back that I've heard about. He's a freshman. I don't know what to make of him, honestly. I know I've heard the name. They also got Kirk Herbstreit's son, Ty Herbstreit, is a sophomore from Nashville, Tennessee, 5'11", 170 pounds. I've heard about him. But the key guys, two key guys, well, actually, I'd say three because Justin Ross is returning as a senior from Phoenix City, Alabama, which credit to Clemson. But thanks a lot for stealing him from my Crimson Tide. Anyway, Justin Ross comes back. A key guy I've heard about is Joseph Nagata, Ngata. And Frank Ladson Jr. I've heard some good things about him this off season. And when I went back, I watched the spring game. He looked like a guy that could light it up. So yes, it's young, and Clemson's in a position like Alabama. They just lost these talented recruits and receivers to the draft. They lost the best quarterback, or at least a very talented quarterback. Well, Clemson lost the best quarterback, but even for Alabama, Mac Jones, I don't know if he was the best, but he was, pretty damn talented. But Clemson's in a position like Alabama. They have lost quite a bit, but they bring a lot back, and it's enough to compete to the level that they're used to offensively. But I really think that it's going to be more so defensive led for the team. I love what Clemson is going to have a great offense. So is Alabama. But I think for both teams, man, that pass rush, the defenses are scary good. I don't know if I view the offenses for Clemson or Bama as scary good like I would Georgia. I think Georgia and Oklahoma are going to have the bet. I think this is what you're going to see this year. Call me crazy if you want to. I'm going to say the two best offenses this year, Oklahoma and Georgia. Okay? But the two best defenses are Clemson and Alabama. But all four of those teams on both sides of the ball have elite playmakers. See where I'm getting at there? Get back to Clemson. It's going to be all about the offense. Can the offense put up some points on Georgia? Oh, absolutely. Georgia has the defense to stop them, but Clemson's offense is going to be scary good. I'm giving it more. So now I give it. Again, give the edge to Georgia offensively, more so than what Clemson has on defense, but you don't underestimate it and you don't take it away from them. I think the same here, too. The same. That being said, I'm giving both teams the edge at offense. I just am. Georgia lost quite a bit defensively. I think if they had guys like Aziz and Monty Rice coming back and Eric Stokes, maybe it's a little bit different. But Georgia has a lot of young guys defensively. They really do. And so does Clemson on offense. But, they got a little bit more experience offensively than Georgia does defensively. Truly, if we're being realistic with it. So how does it favor? I give it to Clemson's offense here. I do. And like I said yesterday, I give it more so on the edge to what Georgia has offensively versus what Clemson has defensively. So with that being said, well, Ballard, if you're picking both offenses, are you expecting a shootout in a way? Yeah, kind of. I think it's going to be one of the low scoring shootouts. You get what I'm saying. I don't think we see something like that 2017 Rose Bowl a few years ago, but I also don't think it's like a 21-17 or something type of game in the 30. I don't know. But again, the week of the game, that's when I'm giving my final score prediction out for Clemson and Georgia. Ultimately, overall, you know, offensive game is kind of what I'm leaning against and seeing right now. And that's really all I can say about it. I don't know what else to say other than there's quite a few there's too many playmakers on Clemson for Georgia to stop, I think. And I kind of said that too yesterday about Georgia's offense was there's just too many playmakers. So it's not that I'm taking anything away from the defenses, but it's more so one of those I'm giving all the credit to the offense, which they rightly deserve, that they can get it done. So that's really all I had for this video today. Guys, I mean, this was really great. Again, I'm going to do this same thing. I'm going to try to, at least for the Bama-Miami game, how does Bama's offense compare to what Miami has defensively? What about, and vice versa, Bama's defense versus Miami's offense? But you guys comment in the live chat as I'm premiering this. If you missed the video and you're watching this back, comment down below. Who has the edge? Are you giving it to the Georgia defense? Are we underestimating them just because they lost quite a bit? Or are you giving it in agreement with me to Clemson's offense and you're saying, yeah, DJ's unstoppable and he's got all these weapons and NJ Dixon, where do you give the advantage in this particular matchup on these sides of the ball? Is it Clemson's offense or is it the Georgia defense? But anyways, that's pretty much all I got today. I appreciate everyone for tuning in and watching. Again, comment down below or let me know in the live chat as it's premiering, Clemson's offense or Georgia's defense. It's up to you, America, to decide what you think. I want to hear from you guys. But anyways, that's pretty much it. That's all I got for this video. I love each and every one of you. I appreciate all the love and support as always. Keep your head up. Jesus loves you. Y'all remember that. God bless. And until next time, folks, Ballard Sports Media is checking out. I love you guys. Keep your head up. Jesus loves you. I love you guys. God bless and roll tide roll. Good luck to both of these teams. It's going to be a hell of a matchup. Woo!